Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hey, Jay. Hey, Anna. Hey, Scribble. Hey, Lemon. Hey, Agnolia. Hey, Luke. Hey, Darkleaf. Hey, October. Hey, Furnace. Having these streams on in the background helps me draw. Well, I'm glad. Everyone should draw. If you have the time. Hey, Nora. How are we today, chat? It is Tuesday. Here's hoping for a productive week. I think you could play the Animal Crossing update on Wednesday. Oh, I don't know. I don't know when I'll play it. I need to go back and I need to do a little bit of a time backward thingy. Oh gosh. Okay, you guys, I left my tablet in the other room, so I'll be right back. This is probably pretty important for me to have my drawing tablet for a drawing stream. 1 second. I return with my tablet. Okay. Tumbletail was confirmed to be the father of Russet Kit and Curl Kit. Did they put them on the family tree? Oh, you got your first commissions? Very exciting, October. Congrats, congrats. It only gets easier. I promise. I'm hoping to be able to learn how to draw backgrounds. A new and bigger iPad this month. Ooh. Conrad confirmed it. Okay, okay. Did you notice that they have another new person writing the 4th Changing Skies book? I don't think Cherith will be long for the Aaron Hunter team. Okay, what was I doing? We were cleaning up the midground. Let's incorporate Poppy and Cinder into the picture. They're midground cats, okay. Trying to think if I can put all of the mid-ground cats underneath. I think I can do that. Yeah. You like Jay Feather? Thank you. He is very angry in this picture. I don't know what he's angry about, but he probably doesn't... He strikes me as the type of guy that gets angry and then doesn't remember what he's angry about like an hour later. Okay, I think I'm gonna push them over a little. Watching this while working on your application. I am excited. He's just angry to be angry. I couldn't imagine living like that. poor guy. It must be exhausting. Okay, Cinder is pretty dark, so I think what I'm gonna do is bring her into the light. So, what's everyone, to those of you who are applying for Warrior Cast Animated, I know I talk about it a lot, but it is application season. Which departments are you applying for? Because I know there's a couple of you in here that have applied. And just FYI, I don't think that we'll start looking at applications until the deadlines hits. So if you like keep updating your like Drive and your website, that should be fine because we're not actually like looking at it yet, by the way. I don't know if anyone was wondering. Animation and character design. Interesting. Hey, Rin. Who's my favorite characters? Of all the characters. Today, I'm gonna choose... I think overall, it's probably like Blue Star or something. But I also really like Greywing and Clear Sky, but I don't really... The thing I like about Greywing and Clear Sky is like they're dynamic together. So like on an individual level, it's probably Blue Star. I need to start thinking that these characters are starting to appear in the background, so they don't need as much shading. I don't think you got in the design. No, Ren. I'm sorry. I promise you will get into a sign. Even if it's just my own. Justice for Rin. I wouldn't be too torn up about it. There weren't actually that many people that got in. And I don't know. You could still draw the idea you had for it. I'm working on it today. I'll work on it today. I have it set up right here. So once I start getting burnt out from rendering the details on this picture, I'll go over and start slapping the colors on the other layout. It's okay. If I ever go through with my magnum opus of I like how everything that everything I do is just the magnum opus of whatever this is, and it's not actually. I find the term magnum opus to be pretty amusing. Like the idea that I have a single piece of work that I dedicate my life to. It's just an amusing little hyperbole. But if I ever go through with my magnum opus of a design idea, you know you will be invited. How many people are expected? I don't think that there's a number. We're a volunteer project, so we don't really have like a limit of people that are accepted. It's just accepting. Yeah, there's not really a limit. We accept as many people as we want. Is she starting to blend in? Let's put her on soft light. I think just like simplifying the shading on her back. Or even just, well, let me just bring up the shading right here. Are there NDAs? Sort of. There's technically not a contractual NDA, but it's kind of just... I always ask for the approval to share whatever I share with the director of the project. And then the director will be like, yeah, you can share this. Like, a lot of stuff, yeah, it's just, like, kind of a courtesy that we're trying to, like, keep it hush-hush. So, like, this background that I'm working on right now, this layout, this specific shot is marked as streamable, which means that I am able to publicly stream my work on this. So, in reality, I think that a lot of people could actually stream work that they do for Work Has Animated, but not just, like, not everybody streams, if that makes sense. But, like, there's certain questions we don't answer. There's certain like sequences and like scenes that we keep very hush-hush. And it's kind of just to keep the suspense a little bit, I guess. Who's next to Cinder? It's Puppy Frost. Oh, Nintendogs, my beloved. Why is she sad? I feel like, well, during this point of the story, this happens during Forgotten Warrior, her and Lionblaze are kind of at odds right now, but I also feel like she's kind of, like, melancholy about, like, Hollyleaf. I think she's just shooting a little bit of a worried for my friendos look. Why was there no Nintendogs? I don't know. Nintendogs was iconic. Solid line shading or softer? So, like for Work That's Animated or just like as a general preference? I think I would prefer, I kind of prefer a mix of both. You can kind of see that, but I do a lot of solid shading. But the people that can do the, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like the tapered soft shading are really powerful, where it's like there's some hints of the solid like cell shading, but I think I would prefer solid if I had to pick one or the other. But there are some people that can mix both really well. Solid with an airbrush. I think I know what you're talking about, and that it is really cool. Okay, and then I'm going to get the orangish parts on her as like a different shading. Yeah. Warm it up a little. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about, the solid shading. It's like kind of like gradient sort of shading. See ya, Elico. Thanks for stopping in. Okay. PG lines. Midground cleanup. Midground drop shadow. Cleaning up. Think I want this part to be in the sun. A work safety meeting. That sounds kind of boring. Two-and-a-half-hour snooze fest? Oh my goodness. It couldn't have just been a video you can watch on ×2 speed? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I think I'm going to get rid of... I mean, it doesn't really matter for the final picture because there's going to be cats behind it, but I'm going to keep this all in kind of the shade. Clean up the lines right here. Little notebook and draw. I preferred taking notes on my computer in class in college because otherwise, if I had like a pen and paper notebook, I would just end up doodling all over it. So I think I actually paid attention a little bit more when I just had like the laptop document open. Because my mind couldn't wander. That's the plan. Drawing in Golden Eagle. I don't think I've ever drawn an eagle. I watch a lot of eagle cams though, like eagle nests and stuff. They're really cute. I'm trying to think of what I want to do. See, I want this to not... I want the, oh goodness, what am I trying to say? I want the slope to be... I don't want a raw cliff right here, you know? I want it to slope into a gradual slope. Like, I don't want an abrupt change because there's cats on top of it, right? Okay. That's probably good. Like the one at Big Bear. Yeah, that's the one I watch. Yeah, see, and then this is where I wanted the abrupt change to happen. Where this line art is. So maybe I do just want to... do something like that. And I'll just bring this into the light to help a little bit. My class watched them last year. Yes, they had 2 eaglets that matured last year. It was very awesome. I think they're preparing their nests right now for like another set of eggs, clutch of eggs. Yeah, it was sad that the 3rd one died. But I guess it's honestly pretty impressive that there was 2 that survived, though. But yeah, it was really sad. I do remember that happening. Such is the way of nature, I suppose. Don't zoom in too much. And then I need to clean up this. Let's bring that blue up. Actually, if I bring that blue up, I might just... I honestly think it's probably a good idea to just put all of this in the shadow. If I put all of this in the shadow, and then I kind of bring the light this way... Okay. How much of this is visible? Not that much, okay. Just gonna bring that all the way up though. And then this one... The shadows don't really make sense, but just don't think about it too much. I need to... Why is this not working? Oh, I see. Okay. What's your favorite big cat species? I guess it's probably snow leopard, but I really like small wildcat species as well. So I do quite like sand cats a lot. And I loved ocelots when I was little. They were like my favorite species ever. I had a whole entire binder of pictures I just printed off from Google Images of ocelots. But I do really like sand cats. I actually got to saw a sand cat for the first time. I saw a sand cat for the first time in person at the Bronx Zoo last year. They were so cute. But I do like a snow leopard. I have a couple I had a snow leopard OC when I was younger. I should bring her back. Her name was Lily, I think. She had a little scarf like all my OCs. I feel like most of my OCs have some sort of like neck accessory, like a scarf or a tie or a bow or a cape. What's my favorite warrior cat deputy? It's an interesting question, actually. I don't know if I've ever really thought about it from like a deputy standpoint. Like, probably... I don't know. Probably White Storm or something. Like Redtail. Stonefur, that's a good choice. Now, when I think of like, when you guys ask me my favorite rank of warrior, I have to think specifically like, how were they as deputy? Like when you guys ask, oh, who's your favorite queen? I have to think, okay, so how were they as a queen, right? So I'm trying to think about any cat that really like left an impression on me as a deputy. Probably like Knight. Knight from Riverstar's Home was like a really interesting deputy. Like Lionheart. Stonefur was a good deputy. Oakhart was probably a pretty good deputy. I do like the dynamic of Oakhart and Crooked Star. Like, okay, here's another question for you guys. What's your favorite deputy leader dynamic? Like, who's your favorite combo? I think that's also an interesting question, I would say. There's like a lot of interesting choices you could do there. Barring the one that became leader. White Storm and Firestar. See, I think that White Storm and Firestar is like a pretty good combo. I like Redtail. There, you're fine. Redtail is a good deputy. I feel like that's unironically like a pretty, like, I would say that I could see that being a pretty common choice to pick Redtail. Blue Star and Fireheart. I do like... if I had to pick a combo, I feel like the best combo is when one of them... I mean, Russet Fur and Black Star is a pretty goated combo. Leaf Star and Hawkwing? Yeah. Blue Star and Fireheart? Yeah. Hot take, I thought Greystripe was a fine deputy. I'm perfectly fine with the idea of Greystripe being deputy. I understand that definitely like a Nepo baby pick. But, I mean, it's his choice. I liked in Greystripe's vow that it kind of, it was like, oh, Greystripe was like, okay, well, I hope that Firestar doesn't die because I don't want to be deputy. I don't want to be leader. So I liked that little realization that hits him during the absence. Firestar and Brambleclaw? I could see that. I do like the Fireheart Blue Star dynamic a lot. mean, I really like the River Star Knight. Oh man, that was so good. I know that we technically don't get to see too much of them when they're like a leader and deputy, but just their friendship through the book, period. And then like, I don't know, they work so well together. When Firestar was being too hard. Yeah, he's kind of... Yeah, I mean, I like Gray Stripe. He was always one of my favorite characters when I was reading the books as younger, so I was personally like excited that he got to be deputy. I like the parental bond type. Yeah. I think I like my favorite kind of deputy leader dynamic is when the deputy kind of makes up for the faults of the leader in a way. Like how River Star is very kind and gives a lot of people, like he's a very optimistic, etc. And like Knight was like very kind of pessimistic and level-headed and kind of pragmatic. Day Feather Apple Star Gray Stripes. Exactly. You guys saw the picture. And in my mind, kind of White Storm, a lot of like first deputy picks kind of do that. I feel like the first deputy that people usually, or that leader usually picks is somebody that really helps to balance their weaknesses. I don't think it's until like the second deputy usually that the leader starts really thinking about, okay, well, who should be the next leader? Because I'm getting old now type thing, you know? Except for if you're 1 star and then you just like make hair spring leader because we can trust him, you guys. Thunderstar and Lightning Tail is really good. I do really like the like brother dynamic. Like I like Pine Star and Sunfall as well, I think. I think Sunfall is a really fun mentor and like deputy. My least favorite character of all is probably Mothlight. It's not her fault. I just don't like how she's written and used narratively, and any time that she's used narratively, I'm like, oh my gosh, please just stop talking. Clear Sky and Petals. I do like that one too. And I would agree that that is kind of like a deputy dynamic. I would agree with that. That's like kind of gives you the same sort of dynamic. I would love to have seen like Sparrowfur and Skystar's dynamic a little bit more, because I feel like their dynamic would probably be pretty interesting as well. But unfortunately, we do not. Hail and Shell, yeah. I kind of assumed that they were like childhood friends, like a Gray Stripe Fireheart dynamic for me. I do like Leopard Star and Stonefur. We don't get to see too much of them, and it's a shame because we have an entire book where we should have been able to see a lot more of them interacting together and building up the confidence and like leading to that heartbreaking moment of her deciding to allow him to perish, you know? But no. Tiny Claw. I was thinking about Tiny Claw and Stripe Star. I think my only issue with that is I feel like it's just as StormClan slowly goes on, Tiny Claw just ends up being a yes man to Stripe Star. And I think it's because Gale Star starts kind of like thinking critically about Stripe Star, so Tiny Claw's there to just, I don't know. So that's like my only... I did like her dynamic with him before they merged clans. Pebblenose and Gelstar I also thought about. But like I said, we don't get to see too much of it. I feel like if we saw more of both of those dynamics, they could have been some of my like favorites. The only thing about Pebblenose and Gelstar is that their dynamics were like kind of, oh, we love each other. They're kind of like bargain bin bramble squirrel in a way. So, I don't know. I don't know why they had to make them like ex-lovers. Literally pointless, but whatever. Stories of Code of the Clans. Yeah. Hawk and Reed. I feel like we don't get to see a lot of the dynamic unless one of the point of views is one of them. I don't know what I'm saying, but we don't usually get to see too much of a dynamic unless it's a point of view. Bargain bin bramble squirrel. I'm sorry. I don't mean any offense, but I remembered when I first read the teaser of StormClan's Folly, and it was... And they were like, oh, Pebblenose, we were together and now we're not, and he still supports me even though we're not. I'm just like, oh my gosh, can we like not have leaders and deputies be together ever again? Did we not learn our lesson? Okay. I'm gonna make the moss a little darker, and I'm gonna bring this lighter color up. Probably gonna make those little leaves that are coming off of the moss at different values so they don't blend in too bad. But I think I just want to simplify this whole entire... Darkstar and Spiketail are good. I feel like there should be a rule. I feel like there should too. I would agree with that rule. But the drama, the show must go on. The drama must continue. I would love more books about the previous eras. I would too, but I don't think that they will be giving them to us anytime soon. I think it's just that only kind of like die-hardy fans like that kind of material. And there's only so many of us. Reread Code of the Clans. It's a pretty quick read. Yellow Star's a twat. Wait, does Yellow Star even do anything? I remember drawing a Yellow Star and it's just like worried looking cat loafing or something. Okay. Isn't he the one that proposes the leaders were his law? That's Dark Star. He's in that. I think Yellow Star is in that short, but he's like the Shadow Clan leader, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, you guys talking about the Medicine Cat Code, that's one of the reasons why I just can't stand Mothlight, like, and her place in the story, because it's just so stupid. And I just... So, I'm with you guys. I know. Dark Star is a twat. I do remember that story. And Raincloud is like, oh my god, what is he doing? Yeah, because one girl couldn't handle it, it means everyone else can't. The fact of the matter is, and this is nothing on Mothlight, but I do believe that if she had any sort of... She had no support system. I am sure that Windstar would have helped raise the kids. She just acted like... Imagine if they had a permanent queen in the nursery. Imagine if, like, I don't know. What if you're not the only medicine cat? What if you're... It just is stupid. Oh, thanks. I'm also excited for this one as a poster. I think it'll look really nice. I could listen to this Nintendogs walk cycle music for the literal rest of my life. Like, I could just listen to it every single day. It makes me so happy. If Daisy was in Dawn of the Clans. Yeah, exactly. In my story, that role gets changed so quick. Yeah. And then I feel like I could see it. I think the problem is just like poor writing. The fact that they're trying to establish every single rule of the Medicine Cat way of life in a single book within the course of like 3 months-ish, 3 or 4 months, it's just not... I think Code of the Clans works so well because it implies such a long history of the clans before we get to the point where like Firestar or Rusty is joining. And so it makes it so that everything is naturally come together for this moment, right? But then Mothlight's vision is like, well, what if we did everything within the course of like a month? And you're like, what? It makes the story less epic, you know? The No Norse style? I've never read it. Sorry. Bunch of the Code of the Clans leaders' warriors' names. Ooh, that's fun. Who is messaging me? Just a Minecraft mod server. How dare they add everyone? Have I ever been to Comic-Con? I have not been to a Comic-Con, no. I think I want this to be slightly darker. I do like this little white line though. Do you have any favorite countries? I would love to visit New Zealand. For sure. I would like to visit Scotland. I would like to visit the Patagonias. I would like to visit Iceland. I would like to visit Japan again. I would like to go to Hokkaido. I have not been to Hokkaido. I would like to go to Greece. We get in the Comic-Con artist alley? I don't know. I mean, I have thought about trying to sell at a Comic-Con before, but I have not yet. Asahikawa. Awesome. I love Hokkaido. I want to go so bad. But the issue with going to Hokkaido is that none of my friends want to go. Because they all want to go to, like, Tokyo and, like, I don't know, not Hokkaido. And I'm like, I need to go to Hokkaido. It's so beautiful up there. I just haven't found the right people to invite yet. Tokyo is really fun. I would recommend Tokyo. I've just already been to Tokyo, so I wouldn't mind going to, like, Kyushu or, like, down south or more towards, like, actually I've never been to Kyoto yet. I don't know. I went to Tokyo, Osaka, Hiroshima, went a little bit up. I don't know if I've been to... I don't know. But I basically just stayed on the main island. Yeah, I've heard of Estonia. It's one of the Baltics. Beside Finland and Russia and Poland. And the other Baltics, Latvia and Lithuania. I guess I should probably mention the other Baltics as well. They're just also small. I did take a couple geography lesson classes when I used to be really obsessed with, like, being able to tell what every country was based on their flag when I was doing, like, geography classes. I think Estonia has the best flag out of all the Baltics. I like the blue on it. It's kind of it's a little bit more, well, I guess it's not. I feel like the blue, white, and black is a very, like, rare color scheme in flags. So yeah, Echoing, good luck. Have fun. Like to go anywhere in Europe? I honestly, like, planning a trip to Europe isn't really high on my wants to go list. In my mind, I don't know. I mean, I want to go to Greece, but that's because my family is from Greece, so I want to go, and I would love the food there. I feel like having good food is very important to deciding whether I'm gonna go or not. Y'all better have good food. Hey, Drywall. No Dublin? I would visit Ireland. I would visit Ireland and Scotland. Mostly because I like the countryside. Usually when I want to go somewhere, I want good food, but then I also want it to be like very naturey. Like I want to be able to experience nature. I don't really want to go somewhere to visit a city, if that makes sense. I mean, I'll go to a city if I know people there, but I don't go to cities unless I know I'll be in good company, I suppose. Most of the places I want to go are like, they have really nice hikes or very nice like natural beauty. I've had crepe. Is that like the rolled up version? So French crepes, I mean, crepes are French, but they're like rolled up into a little straw. Or are they like the flat kind? That's like the pizza. Hello. And both were delicious. I have had both as well. I prefer... they're both good. I mean, they're both made out of the same stuff, I think. So it's just like one of them is rolled up like a churro and one of them's like pizza slice shaped. I think I'm going to darken it a little bit. My layout, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think we're expecting perfection. You're fine, Yellow. I think the main thing that we would, well, I'm not sure this time. I haven't really talked to Pommy about it, but the last time it was not necessary to do layout tests when you were applying, and so just even doing the layout test was just showed us that you were willing to put in an effort to try to like learn the style and stuff. So I honestly don't think we're looking for like perfection, but just a core. In my mind, what I'm looking for is you submit a piece, you get a round of feedback. Your feedback is able to be applied with one round, and then we call it done, right? So I want like the basics bones done so that we get one round of feedback, you fix everything, and then we submit it and we move on to the next shot type of thing. But yeah, I don't think, I mean, there's no way that you're going to be able to draw perfectly the first time you do the style. I look back at some of my first couple layouts I did, and yeah, it was a struggle, for sure. I'm going to darken this whole thing. Do I prefer drawing digitally? Yeah, I do. I don't draw a lot traditionally anymore. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm just so used to drawing digitally. Yeah. I wish I could show you guys breaking. So basically when we first do a round of feedback, let me look to see if, let me show you. Do I have any? Oh gosh. Let me look at the production spreadsheet. I need to take a wrist break anyway. I've been drawing for an hour. So let me put down the pen and do some wrist stretches. Let me see if I have any, like, to show you guys. I think I can show this one. Yeah. Shot 33. Okay. So this was one of my initial sketches, right? This one's a little, but they're really messy. So the best way to do the Warrior Cat animated style is, the way that I started this is I did shapes with the lasso tool, and then I started sketching around it. So like, you get all those basic shapes down, and then you start cleaning them up. Apparently I added an entire piece of fern into this. But these basic shapes, like with the bush right here, like these two round bits, and then I kind of broke it up into other things, you know? This was one of like the first layouts I did. Or like breaking down the ferns into the heart shape. That's usually, my sketches for ferns are usually just the heart shape. But yeah. That helps. No problem. Like I said, I honestly think what I'm looking for in an application is, I'm not expecting perfect whatever. Like, it's not going to be perfect. You don't have as much information available to you as I do when I'm drawing backgrounds. Like, I have multiple backgrounds that I can reference from other members, from other shots, from the shots around mine. Like, I have a million fern and foliage references that I can pull out to, like, reference and match. It's, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Thank you, Niall. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, Yellow, I did this for Noor. I know you're not in the Patreon server, but you are a member of my stream. If you want to send me your background, I can do a critique on it. I can do a feedback. I'll do a round of feedback for you. I mean, being enthusiastic about the project and being willing to learn and ask questions. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions. If something on the style is, like, confusing you, to be like, hey, I'm having a rough time drawing the bushes. Do you have any tips? Or I'm having a rough time doing this. Do you have any tips? It's also important to just be, like, willing to learn and willing to take critique and stuff like that. And I don't have to do it publicly, Yellow. If you don't want me to do it on stream today, then I can just send it to you later. I'm a lot better at critiquing the line work and the layouts and like just the style of whatever than the painting, because I just have more experience doing feedback with those. Just the way that the department is set up. There's 2 directors, so we kind of like split up the workload. But I can give feedback on painting. I'm just not as confident. Or I'm not as good with my words. I'm still learning. What time is this drawing set in? Hold on, it's Thunder Lake. I think I'm gonna darken this up here. Okay. Ooh-wee. Oh, thanks, Olivia. I think I set this one at the end of Omen of the Stars because I wanted Dovewing, Ivypool, and Hollyleaf in camp, and this was the only time that I could have them all in camp. What time period will the RiverClan one come? I think it's gonna be set during Broken Code? Like, really... It's gonna have Misty Star in charge, and then I want Splash Tail. I think it'll have Splash Paw, Frost Kit in it. I might do... Ah, man, will I be able to add Willowshine into it or not? I don't know. Genuinely don't know. I don't have any tips for you, Fox. I've never done my own OC story. You can have Willow Shine? Hmm. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure. I want Frostpaw to be old enough that she's like out of the nursery and stuff. I don't know. Everyone's tail is hanging off the freaking cliff. I think I want this to be a little more blue because I want some more blue in there. See ya, Fox. Are you sending it to me? Oh, thank you, Agnolia. Okay, let's see what we got here. The Silent Thaw. Okay, so you're... Okay. Misty Star... Willow Shine, Duskfur, Icewing, Sugarpelt, Splashpaw, Fogpaw. Okay, so Frost, are they really that old already? But J-Claw isn't on there? Okay, yeah, he's on there. I want Crowfeather in there as well. And Hairlight. Hairlight needs to be in there. And Owlnose. Sneeze Pod. Hey, Dweebish. Fogpaw and Splashpaw just became. Okay. Softpelt was Splashpaw's mentor? Who's his other mentor? Because Softpelt dies. So, does he have another mentor? Minotail? Okay. Yeah, feel free to do it. I don't care. I think that drawing the camps, like, just being chill and stuff is, like, they're my favorite illustrations. And I like when other people do it, too. They take a long time, though, so I understand why a lot of people don't have the time to, like, do them. Brambleclaw, we need you to be about right there, I think. Maybe right there? This is causing a tangent, but... oh well. Shift them down just a little bit. Oh shoot, I was thinking of starting my thumbnails for the Zine today, but do I want to do that? I'm still trying to cook up my idea, exactly what I want. Well, that's not true. I know exactly what I want. I just haven't come up with any good compositions in my brain yet. I mean, that was what we were going to do, is maybe like do some composition explorations, but... Oh no, I was drawing on the wrong layer. Oh well. I'll fix it later. That's what happens when you have 204 layers. What's Zine? What's the Zine? It's a Harrier Tail, the Sunning Zine, Tunnel Zine. So, it's based off of the Prophecies Begin, and then I'm part of the Sunning Zine, which is RiverClan and ThunderClan moments during the Prophecies Begin. So I'm doing Snowkit, Brackenfur, and Speckletail, like, bonding. Because I really like that moment in Dangerous Path where Brackenfur is like, I don't know, he's cute, he's like, oh... I was kind of hoping to mentor him, and I don't know. I want to show him trying, like, playing with Snowkit and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna make that one in front. Oh my gosh, there's so many cats in this. Yeah. Hey, Meow. You're also on Sunnydine. Yippee! Harrier Tail said I could stream at least, like, I can't stream the final piece. So I feel like I want to stream, like, doing a couple concept thumbnail sketches. Maybe I'll do that today. I did kind of start the stream and want to do that. But then I also want to do the shot today. Oh, my goodness. But is the Whispering Cave? I didn't have it as a planned illustration, no. Just get faster and do everything on stream. Well, this is the thing, right? Harrier Tail said... Yeah, you're right though, I do. Oh, no, you're talking like I have too many things I want to do on stream, and then I'm like the slowest person ever. You're right. You're not wrong. I am a slow drawler, unfortunately. I do almost nothing fast, unfortunately, for me. Except for the Warrior Cat designs sometimes. I don't know what I would do for the Whispering Cave. I don't know. I mean, it probably would be a pretty cool illustration, but I don't really have any clear ideas of what I would do for it. Unfortunately. I feel like it would be a very cool piece, though. I mean, realistically, I could do... I could do a big old print of a lot of stuff that involved the camp. Like, the interiors. Like, I could do the interiors of medicine cat dens. That'd be fun. I feel like medicine cat dens are usually the ones that I feel like have the most uniqueness to them. Inside. What were the Whispering Caves? They're the SkyClan Gorge, the SkyClan Gorge way to talk to the ancestors. I mean, I wasn't really planning on doing the top of the gorge either, where like they have their gatherings, so... The Whispering Cave is in the gorge picture. Like the entrance of it. But they have glowing moss. Yeah, it is really cool. I do admit, that does sound pretty fun to draw. Maybe one day I'll draw it, but I don't have any plans. I don't think it would... Yeah, it's not really on my radar right now. I feel like if I was going to draw the Whispering Cave, I'd also want to do a print for the Cave of Pointed Stones. Like, I would add both of those together. You might get another 5 clan camps to draw. I know. I know. My work is never done. Don't forget you're here forever. Alrighty, I am taking a break on this. Because I think the next thing I need to do is start incorporating... Like, I'm gonna have to... I think I want to incorporate this group. Gray and Millie, and then all the way up to Firestar. Into the picture. And then we need to start incorporating all of these guys in the picture and stuff. And I don't feel like working on that right now. So we're gonna work on this. But before I work on this, I'm going to do a stand up and stretch. So I will be right back. You guys can check this out. Here, you guys can look at the whole picture, I guess. There we go. I'll be right back. Oh, you guys can't see that. Never mind. I thought that would help. I return from my stand up and stretch break to loosen up the shoulders. Do you guys see this? I'm just now seeing this. Look at this messiness. Why does that look so messy all of a sudden? Right here. Okay. I'm gonna work on this. I am using this color key to do this. And I'm going to do this in Photoshop because I don't want to open up Clip Studio today. Working on Warrior Cat animated painting. Background? I guess I'll just do background. Okay. Let's translate this piece over. Let me make sure that I have all of my... Let me make sure that I have all of my brushes on here working properly. We have the round one. We have this one. Okay. Is this one working properly or do I have to fix it? This one is weird because, yeah, it's... This one I have to fix when I'm using it on Photoshop because it changes the I don't know if you guys can see it. It might be easier. Yeah, see, it changes the saturation of whatever color you've picked automatically, but it does it randomly, and I don't want that. So I need to fix that. I just need to turn off the, I just need to turn it off. Brush settings. It's on color dynamics. Just turn that off, please. And save it. Thank you. I had to do this. It does that on Procreate? Yeah, turn it off. I didn't realize that when Palmy sent me the new brush, I didn't realize that I wasn't supposed, like, yeah, just turn it off. That's not used anymore. What the heck? How long was Darktail with Skyland for? Not that long. Okay. Let me turn this all into white. No, don't turn on sticky keys. Go away. Okay. Ah! What did I do? Okay. This is the fence, which is kind of like this color-ish. And then this is, what is this? Oh, okay. The foliage is sort of this color. The stone path is sort of this color. And the base is like something like that and something like this. And then the foliage on this edge is sort of kind of like this color-ish. Why are my lines super light? Okay. Back for a little bit. Hello, Queen. Interesting to see layer usage. I set up this layer usage. I did this layout. So I set it up because I set it up the way I set it up. Technically, we only require layer setups for each background, but my painting is different. I'm trying to think. I literally have been putting this off for so long because I did not want to work on this. But we're just gonna do it. It's time to bite the bullet. So first I'll just lay down sort of the initial strokes. Aw. Thanks, Anna. Think of it as a fun coloring book? Yeah, this is true. This one has a direct color key reference to it, so it's a little bit easier than others. I also did the color keys, so everything that's on screen right now I did do, so I kind of have thought about this shot a little bit. But the Warcat animated background painting style is a little bit more rough and rough around the edges. It's kind of more sketchy than my actual rendering style, so it takes not as long. And then I always try to keep a grayscale on the top of my thing. I'd like to draw the Skyrock. Yeah, he stays in camp. I don't know if Hawkwing's not really around, right? I can't remember what happens, but he like stays in camp and then Hawkwing goes on this journey that Billy Storm dies in, and it's like, I don't know, something weird. And then I also use this brush. I like this brush because it kind of, I don't know. I like how it blends. Let me open up my brushes so you guys know which ones I'm using. There we go. It is kind of like a coloring book, isn't it? Get the shadows in there. I think I designed this color key to be very blue around the edges, and the only warmth is coming from the door. So I'm trying to capture that. Oh shoot, I have a reference for Rusty's house somewhere, but I can't remember where I put it all. So we're just going to wing it for now. Pretty sure this up here is supposed to be white though. I think it's like the same color as this one right here. I don't know, it's not really sticking out that much, but I don't think any shot where this is visible should be, it should really just blend in. And then the lights. They're not on. The only light is coming from the door. I'll clean it up later. Famous last words, by the way. And then where's my hard brush? There it is. What is happening here? Oh, is that a... Okay, those are lines. Just wondering. I can't remember what color this is right here, so I'll just make it that color for now. And then I usually kind of sneak in a couple more random hues. Maybe more blue, because this is at night. Not too different, though. The other thing that I struggle with when I do paintings for Warcats Animated is I'm very much used to painting now to print out. And when you print out a painting, you don't use as dark of hues. So I always have to catch myself that, yes, I am allowed to use dark hues now because I'm just doing a layout for a video and I'm not printing it out, you know? Yeah, so the background style has changed a lot. I would say look at a better representation of the background style is look at the voice casting calls. Especially like the newest casting call. That's pretty much what our style looks like now. And then the Fire Alone, the one with Spotted Leaf. That one is pretty similar to our style now. But the first one with like Rusty in his house, that, I think that, yeah, it's very out of. I think I'm just putting too much detail into this up here. I think the best thing I can do is kind of put a little bit of this in here and then kind of darken up the foliage a little bit. I don't even know if I need to do that, really. I always have to take a step back when I do work at animated layouts and say, stop. This is on screen for 5 seconds. Is it acceptable? Because you have 1,000 more to do. I think it was just a look test. I think it was done, it was like one of the first things that they tried doing the pipeline with or something. There are, I know that the Gorse Tunnel shot that's in like the anniversary, that's an official shot. Hey, Walton. I think I'm going to just make this dark. Simplify all this out. And then I'm gonna take a bit of this purple up here. Bring it in. But yeah, I would say that the background style is probably... I think that it's become more producible, I would say, if I had to put a word on it. In that it's... Now that we are in... Because I think that first look test production hadn't started yet. Or that first, like, the one with his house or whatever. I think there's a couple of backgrounds. I mean, Palmy did some backgrounds on the Werecat animated screen on the stream. So They are beautiful. I think one of them is done by Palion. I can't remember if both of them are done by Palion. The one with Spotted Leap going Fire Alone will save our clan, or can save our clan, that was Palion. A beautiful work from Palion. An MVP for sure. I wish there was more day. You and me both. You and me both. Getting through these scenes that are like at night have been brutal for me. Okay. I think, yeah. There are so many like scenes in Warrior Cats that take place during the nighttime though. I told Toon once, I asked Toon like, can you give me what's the percentage of scenes that happen at night? What are the percentage of scenes that happen during like the day, etc.? Yeah. Well, Fire and Ice takes place like winter, so. But all of Into the Wild takes place during the springtime. So eventually we will get to draw seasons. But not quite yet. I don't like that. I want it to be more defined. The Warrior Cat animated style, the change in like shadows and stuff is a lot more defined. Like there's some rim lighting, but it's not a lot. Or I don't know. There's like changes in hue, but there's less changes. Than what I'm used to. I think that's the main thing I struggle with when I do layouts for Warrior Cat Animated, the painting style, is that it's more simplified. And like messier around the edges. Pretty quick with them. I gotta think. I gotta go, okay, come on. This layout is not this layout, I think it's used for a couple shots, let's be real. Like maybe like 4 or 5. But overall, people are gonna see it. They're gonna say, oh, look at the fun characters that are on top. Hold on. Look at the fun characters that are on top. And they're not looking at the background, right? So it just has to like be acceptable. I'm just going to use a little bit. I have to very much limit my airbrush. usage for these backgrounds. We're very much looking for like hard lines, like hard changes in colors and shading and stuff. So I very, very much limit that. I'm also getting used to this new brush. If I was on Clip Studio, I'd be using the dense watercolor, but I don't. Oh, Yellow Leaf, you're on Clip Studio. Okay. But even with the dense watercolor, you don't want to paint the background with it. You want to, once you get the initial color splash on there, that's when you start pulling out the dense watercolor to like clean up the edges. Hi, Kate. Thank you. I was not the only one that worked on it, though. Feel free to check out all the other participants as well. They all did a very wonderful job. I do agree with you. Yeah, that was one of the mistakes I made, Yellow, when I first started using the dense watercolor. Because, well, first of all, I came from Photoshop that doesn't have any, like, automatic blending tools. So I had no idea how to use an automatic blender. But I tried to lay my flats down with it. Like, do you see how I'm using this brush right here just to, like, do the edges? And when I want to do full color changes, I switch to a hard brush right here. That was one of the things that I was not privy to when I first started. It is tiny. It is. I got the go-ahead to paint this background on stream from Toon. And then Palmy, who's a much better at navigating Clip Studio Paint than me, she uses the lasso fill tool to like block in colors as well, which I'm still getting used to. No longer criminal activities. I would never criminal activity on stream. How dare you even suggest? I run everything I do by Toon for Warrior Cats Animated and Palmy and my other directors. How would you approach a point of view from inside a hollow log? Probably the same way that I would approach one from the Gorse Tunnel. Like, are you inside the log looking out? I would probably do a central composition. I want the light source. I want the main highlight of this to be this right here, because this is where Rusty is going to be, and I want this to frame him. So that's my main, what I want. And then I want all the lighting that's coming out to be that yellow color. My concept for this scene when I was doing the color keys for it was I wanted his two-leg place house to feel nice and warm and inviting, and he's going into the woods that's cool colors, a little bit more anxiety-y and like unknown, and he's like leaving behind the warmth of the known and going into the unknown. So I wanted to really enunciate that. There's a look test of Rusty going through the Gorse Tunnel. You should find that. I don't know where it is in the blog. Just a little bit of different colors. Just get down those solids, a couple solids here and there. The stone path. I don't know, that might be, yeah, that's too much of like a value change, I think. I don't want the stone path to be that in your face. Just a little bit of change. This should all be in the dark, I believe. Maybe a little bit of blue sneaking up there. Also, I wanted the shadows to have more of the vividness, I think. I believe these are both white. Yeah. There is light from the moon coming down, so I'll think about that. So if there's light from the moon coming down, I actually think the moon is on this side. Visually, I think. And then I might... pull some of that color up here. Not that much. Holy crap. Maybe I should do it right there. Actually. In my mind, this back part might be like... Well, honest to God, I think this whole thing is probably gonna get blurred, but... maybe not. That's the thing, right? Sometimes backgrounds, they just get blurred. That's the other thing. But I do want like a little bit of... Do they not? It just depends on what comp does to them. I treat every single background like it's not going to be blurred. That's basically, you should paint. Now this is the other thing, right? This could be used down the line for an episode that I'm not even thinking about right now. This background, this particular background, right? So I always paint as if it's not going to be blurred. Because you never know if the background is going to be needed when it's blurred. Like, this has the ground on it. So, in reality, you could have a shot that comes through here of, like, a cat on the porch or something. And honestly, painting everything like it's not going to be blurred saves you a lot of work in the long run, in my opinion. But you got to do it every day. Yeah. I always try to work on Warrior Cat animated backgrounds like it's going to be used again. Yes, exactly. It's just helpful that way. You're too scared to start. No, just do it. Hey, Dawn Frost, you're not too late. I've been live for about 2 hours. I like this little color I have snuck in there. The bushes, I think, are the main... the way that I shade bushes and the way that Pommy shades bushes is very different. So it's definitely been a learning curve for me, personally, to simplify my shading of bushes. Out of, like, everything. Pommy very much thinks about bushes as essentially a lumpy circle. So, like, when she's rendering them, she thinks of this circle with, like, the backlighting and then, like, the shine, you know? So that's been, like, the #1 thing that I've had to kind of really study how she does. Because she's always kind of like, I'm the director of backgrounds, but I'm also get critique on all of my pieces, by the way. Like, as soon as I finish this, I'll probably send it in the background Discord, and I will wait for Pommy to critique it. But she does a lot of, like, rim lighting and stuff like that, and, like, bounce shadows and stuff like that. Hey, Huli. I'm working on a Warrior Cat animated painting layout this time. They don't go as fast as just, like, the lined layouts, but... She also, when you're painting bushes, she likes to do this. She, like, kind of adds this sort of glowing light from the bottom of the bushes. That's kind of peeking through. She does it for trees, too. I'm always thinking about the light source. Colors are scary as heck. You should do like some... Just look up some color theories and like do some pieces for like the basis of this is basically just the orange and blue color scheme. And they're both like propping each other up. And then always make sure to value check. That's the other thing. Just value check. You should do color theory. I'm not saying I did. Okay, let's be real. Let's be real, guys. Full disclosure, never took a color theory in my entire life. The most I had in color theory was I learned about complementary colors and that complementary colors work wonders together. And then I saved a bunch of pictures that I really liked and I try to emulate them. I don't know. You can't get better at something if you don't just keep doing it. Your first go is not going to be your best go, but you got to at least go. It's getting a little muddy in there, by the way. I think I just want to simplify that all into one single color. I have learned about color theory. Well, then you're already a step ahead of me. I'm complicating it. I'm complicating the bush. I'm just gonna make this one color. Maybe two. Nah, just one. Hard shape rendering. Yeah, that is... So I will say that is the one thing that most people get critiques on when they first start doing painted layouts is, and I'm trying to work with Palmy to get a little bit better of a guide going before the next applications like start coming in, because it is hard. And I want to make it as easy as possible for you guys coming in. But don't feel bad if it feels a little soft. I would say the main thing about the style that I usually tell people is start with the hard edges like this. Like make everything sort of hard. And then try to limit the amount that you use the soft, like, blendy butt thing. Because the dense watercolor is also one that, let me show you my first iterations using the dense watercolor so you don't feel bad. Hold on. Okay, just use the regular, like, hard pin. That's also was my issue. Where's my coloring? Okay, so this was my first like test painting spread, right? And I remember the feedback on this was that my lines were too soft. This, like, everything is kind of a little bit smooth, like, especially like these bushes. And this was because I was trying to lay down colors with just the dense watercolor. I was under the assumption that that was all that I had to use. Use the lasso tool to block in colors, or use just a hard round brush to block in colors, because then after I got some feedback and stuff, it turned into this. So, like, do you see how these colors are sort of, there's more of an established separation between them, but there is like a little bit of difference in the colors. So the way I did this, yeah. Hey Anna, welcome back. Yeah. So, like I said, we're not expecting perfection. The feedback is probably going to be, I mean, realistically, the most extensive feedback is going to be the first couple rounds of feedback. When you're asking your questions, you should be asking for some clarification, like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, my feedback I got on those were that they were too overblended. But my issue is that I was coming from Photoshop, where there is no automatic blending tool in Photoshop, and so I was just had no idea how to use an automatic blender, and I just blended too much. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if I like this, actually. I think it's just easier if I just... There are also, like, shapes that we do grasses in. Another good thing to reference, even though I was told when I started, another good thing to reference are those banner, like the Twitter banner art for the seasons, for like the painting style. ThunderClan actually moved into two-leg place. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad there are not too many two-leg place scenes. It's so much easier to get away with like messy coloring when it's like a forest. For sure. Yeah, background artists are up. And they're still up, I think. Work with me. Hypnotizing. I'm on power 3. Ooh, good luck. Okay. I don't know what color the tulips are. I'm gonna have to consult. I just lay down some base colors. I lay down the base, the shadow, the highlight. I kind of pick another color from the group. I add it in a little bit like this. All in the hard brush. Maybe add a little bit of this. See, I don't know if I like how... I think I'm going to limit the amount of that bright color that's in there. Yeah, I did that a lot on that. Consult the ThunderClan gods. I think that they're like red, maybe? I can't remember. And then I clean it up with this brush. Add a couple more colors in there. The good thing about painting for backgrounds like this is that the color keys are already set, so you don't have to think too hard about coloring the entire piece from scratch, you know? You just have to match the color key. And I don't think Pommy changes the opacity of any of these brushes, by the way. I am doing it though. Color keys are a painted final scene of like the colors rendered in and everything to set the mood. So this is when you start painting layouts, you're using the color key and just kind of making the layout fit into it. Pommy. I don't know. Now, I have a bonus because I did the color key, so I've already thought about this shot. Plenty. But I don't... Most people won't have done the color keys of the shot that they are painting to. Okay. What's my favorite clan? It depends. Depends on who's running it, mainly. Yeah, I don't want that foliage to be that bright. I want it to kind of... the back of the house should be pretty much blended into, the background. I don't want you to look at it at all. It's literally just there because the house has it. So I don't want it to really be gaining any more attention than it needs to. Like, I might be able to put this on there as like kind of a rim lighting thing. But other than that, hey Niall, welcome back. Feel like my favorite might be ThunderClan. I definitely like ThunderClan the most at the beginning of these series. You have a simple character? Well, good, because I haven't drawn the Kestrel yet. Or for your Kestrel OC. Because my hand... I just had a crazy week last week, man. And my hand was not cooperating. I think the only time I drew last week was on stream. And I'm like helping plan this wedding and I'm not really planning. I'm helping plan it. It's my sister's wedding. It's not my wedding. Don't worry, you guys. I ain't getting married. I'm not gonna pop this on you all of a sudden. With the ACB now? Oh no. Nifty is good. Not exactly. I had no plans of that. This is news to me. Nifty is married to work. I'm married to that grind. Animal Crossing grind. I need to get back on the Animal Crossing grind for sure. I have been neglecting them as of late. That's probably fine, honestly. Let me double check something. Let me grab the reference sheet for... the house. Okay, the tulips are... okay, there are also supposed to be flowers on this. Okay, the tulips are like a mix of kind of a deep red and a cream color. So I think I'll just go for this-ish color for them. Yeah, there's a new horizon update. I'm so excited for it. Okay. The stone path, I will... mainly, I think I'm just going to keep it 2 separate colors because I don't think it really requires more than just having, like, the top be, like, slightly lighter. What is happening in chat? I look away for one minute and I see, imagine I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor help camp and no, I can't help there. I'm changing of words. Yes, I write sins, not tragedies. I leave you guys for 1 second and this is what you do? I think I'm just gonna make this a single color, honestly. It's not worth it. We'll see if Pommy wants it to be more complicated. It's easier to add details than it is to remove details. Always remember that. Whenever people send in sketches, one of the main things sometimes is I feel like you've already rendered too much of it before the initial feedback, and then I feel horrible when I have to draw over the picture, and I'm like, I feel bad because you've already done so much. You know? That's what I try to tell people. I'm like, it's always better to send in simple. Closing the gosh dang door, no! My friend loved Panic at the Disco. Video games? Less is more? At least at the beginning. I find it a lot more easy to be like, hey, add some more detail into this section than it is to be like, oh, I think this is too detailed, right? I try to tell people, like, send in your initial shapes, your initial composition, and then you can start kind of rendering it out. Because we don't really have a trial period. Your trial period, you work on a layout immediately when you start. There's no like, hey, do this test layout once you're in. Your feedback will start, you'll start doing official layouts, and yeah. Watching me draw is therapeutic. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear it. Draw yourself. Drawing is also therapeutic. By the way. I like doing these little things. I'm just making the other bricks just a slightly different color. Do you think this will affect the trout population? The Gorse Tunnel background? Oh, you mean the one... So, that is... Yeah, that's pretty detailed. It's a faraway shot, though. At the same time. I think I don't want this. I think I want this to be that dark color. Just simplify it all up. Also, I think this needs to be darker. Thank you. I mean, you can do a faraway shot. Why not? Do as many as you want. There are plenty of faraway shots. But at the same time, you have to balance the details in a far-away shot. I do think that the Gorse Tunnel background is just a relatively complicated background. I think the more stuff that you have, I think the more detailed it's just going to end up. Like, this is a pretty detailed background, if you think about it. Why is this like this? Okay. What canvas size? They're 12 by 18 inches. 300 DPI. Those ones. I'll do the highlight a little later. 300 DPI, yeah. Oh shoot, what am I doing? Okay, thank you. I think a better example of the color style, definitely look at those prop example sheets that I put in there from Palmy. Those are really good just painting style tests. I don't know what I'm doing over here. Just get rid of it. Okay. Can I ask what's going to happen in the space above the fence? I think it's going to be... So technically that's Smudge's house. I'm not sure what I want to do with it though. I'll probably just paint something in. At first I was like, oh, maybe it'll be the sky, but technically I'm pretty sure it should be Smudge's house. Okay, so this is my screen save right here. So right here, this is the only shot. There's also a fence. This is the only shot that it's going to be visible in. So I'll probably just paint something that looks vaguely like brick-like. Honestly. I do have a reference for Smudge's fence. Or Smudge's house, but... I mean, it would just be like... I don't know. I love Smudge too. If I had to pick a werecat to be, I would be Smudge. For sure. I would choose that any day of the week. It is probably Utopia music. Okay, that's the only one that has fence. That other one doesn't. I think I'm just gonna take the darker color. Because in the reference, these are just a darker brick. Just get a darker blue. I also want this not to look like it has a drop shadow too much because it's just ivy growing on the wall, right? So I'll add a little bit of a brick to a different color to kind of give it a feeling that it's multiple different shades of bricks. And the fence... Oh gosh. Hold on. Let me pull something up. Okay. The fence is... Just gonna take a screenshot. Right here. I'm gonna put that in here. I think when we're doing fences, we just kind of want each slat to maybe be slightly different of a color. But not too much different from each other. I rage quit all annoyed. Main character started to lose their mind on The Last Hope. Fair enough, fair enough. Hopefully it's going better for you now. The Last Hope is the book that made me stop reading the series. Sad. But true, a lot of people don't continue reading after it. I actually don't know how much of this fence is... Yeah. So when that fence is shown, it's like barely even. Okay. I finished my bunny sweater. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm glad you finished it. Yeah, I feel like this background is probably just gonna be like sort of like dark. There might be a little hint of light so that it looks like there is a fence or something back there. And then, oh shoot, I don't have, the sky is kind of, I don't know what I want to do. And then we'll kind of put the, I don't know, a smudgy house right there. At some point. Yeah. I can see why if I see another chapter with Lion Blaze complaining about his love struggles. It's okay. It'll be over soon, I promise. Actually, I think I'm going to pull this whole thing into the cooling colors. This one can be warmer. It's much further down. Color this background in an hour and a half. I try to be conscious of what I do for Warrior Cats Animated, like how long stuff takes me. Now, to be fair, I didn't have to like sit here and think about what colors I wanted to put on it, which is a huge plus. I already had the colors down. For my Kokiko. Kokiko. That meme? I'm just gonna make that the dark color, I don't care. I feel like this is not, it's just not looking, I want it to look flatter. I think by doing that I need to just limit the amount of colors I stick in there. And then bring this lighter color up. Hey, October. Safety meeting ended early. We love to see it. We love to see it. What time is it? 5 o'clock. Very productive day. We did not even stop and do a quiz today. I think I can see Palmy kind of telling me like, hey, it's looking messy around here. So I'm gonna try to simplify it out a little bit. Palmy's much better with like the finishing rim lighting touches than I am. So we will see what she says. Like, she's good with, like, bringing the glow and, like, pushing the lighting and all this stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm just the assistant director for a reason. Palmy is the GOAT. To add a cat-shaped brick in this background, you have to take it up on with Toon. Sorry. I need to clean up the things. The lanterns or whatever. And I feel like I could probably just push all of this into the darkness. I mean, I didn't on the color key, so... Oh, I need to do the bricks down here. I have mostly just focused on this part, though. Like, I don't think no one's gonna be looking at this part. Well, no one's gonna be really. Anyway, I think that's good for now. I'm gonna let it breathe. I've been working on it for an hour and a half. So we're gonna let it breathe. I'll come back to it another day. I can already see that I kind of want to pull this orange color up a little bit more. The other thing you have to think about is comp can also do some magic to this. Like, comp will kind of color correct a little bit and make it fit even more. The color keys are for comp. This is like the concept of when it's all completed, right? So I'm trying to get it as close as possible, but comp can do some final adjustments and some mood lighting and some softness, and I don't know. They can really mold it. I think I want a little bit of that white around the door. think I could pump up the whites a little bit. Maybe give a little bit more highlights to this. Okay. Poor comp, they have to fix everything. Well, the goal is that they don't have to fix anything, but they can fix stuff, you know? Well, now I'm working in the bright again. I feel like I just turned on the lights. Oh my gosh, Tiny, its little hat and sweater. That's so cute. You did such a good job. I feel like I literally just turned on the lights. I was like working in dark mode. Ugh. I'm gonna take a quick stand. Ooh. Sorry, I hit the mic. I'm gonna take a quick stand and stretch break, and then when I come back, I'll figure out what I'm doing for the last hour of the stream. We might work on thumbnails for design. I'm quite satisfied with what I ended up with for my first session on this background. This is like a complicated background. Not every background takes this long. Save check. Yep, I auto-save, so I'm all good. Save again. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get a corn bag for my shoulders. Hello. You guys raiding my fridge again? Ay, ay, ay. Oh, well, I'm just heating up a little corn bag for my shoulders. No. I don't believe you. Behave. Alrighty. Do I want to do the thumbnails? What do I want to do? I guess I'll do some thumbnails. I don't think I'm going to settle on anything today. But it's an A5. Okay, let me get the... Let me get the dimensions going. It is A5 portrait, I believe. CMYK. Okay. Oh, goodness, it's portrait. I didn't even think that it's portrait. Okay. Okay, crop it. Actually, I'm going to, this will be my thumbnail, so I'm gonna thumbnail at a smaller size. So I'm going to shrink it by 50%. And we'll thumbnail a little bit. So Snowkid is pretty old at this point because Brackenfur wants to mentor him. So my initial idea was, let me make an artboard. Thumb 1. So my initial idea was I have Bracken. Well, not old Bracken, young Bracken. Well, yeah, because Brackenfur is like, he was like, I was kind of hoping I'd mentor him. And so he's been like keeping an eye on him. He's the one that like leads. He's the one that notices that he might be deaf. I know these cats. I know. This is from the first arc. So my first thoughts was maybe there's a couple there. Okay, just put out the thought. You don't have to marry any of them. My first thought was that he was sort of playing with Snowkid like this. He could be tiny. It just depends. But my first thought was him and Snowkid in the front like this. And then maybe the nursery is back here. Speckletail might be like right here. this type of illustration, or I could do... I do the blob paint method. I'm sorry. The other one I could do is I could have bracken fur. He's pretty tall and lanky, so I could have a kind of like an upshot of him. Giving him maybe like a badger ride. Yeah, I'm allowed to stream like thumbnailing for design. I could do some trees. If I did a shot like this, I could have Speckle right here. I could even have a evil moment. Hog. Kind of do an upshot with some grass right here. I don't think it's weird. I think a lot of people prefer one camp over the other. Who's Snowkit's dad for real? It's like Smollier, right? I don't remember. What else could I do? The other thing I was thinking of was maybe doing... Man, it's hard to work in vertical like this. I could have him kind of maybe trying to teach him some moves. Because the last thing that Bracken Fur says to Fireheart is, I'm gonna watch him and try to figure out if there's anything I can do to help, right? Before, and then like the next chapter it kind of gets... But I wanted to like enunciate that moment. And like there can be some tail waving. Because it's mentioned in the book that it's kind of like... I'm not sure how kitty cat sign language would work. You know what? I have a friend that's deaf. I should ask them for more input, actually. He's the one that tries to go after the hawk. He's like... He's the one that, like, races out of camp and is, like, desperately looking for the hawk and stuff like that. But see, I don't like that this is not utilizing anything up here. This one, I think, utilizes the verticality the best. Him and Swiftpaw. I think Swiftpaw might go, yeah. I could have him, like, maybe climbing a tree. I mean, he is a kitten, but... Or, like, him underneath a bush, even. Like, I could do an even more... Yeah, kittens will climb anything. Or I could have him... Like if this was underneath like a tree or a bush or something. I'd have to make it look like a bush and not a tree, but I think you would be able to do that. Or I could have them playing... I'm trying to think of how to better use the verticality of a full profile print. I mean, the other thing is I could really zoom it out. I like this sort of fisheye ground level. With some grass. Is there any place that... Oh, hold on, let me change the music. I like that. What book cover would I have wanted? Probably one of the Dawn of the Clans ones. I would probably have done a Dawn of the Clans cover. Any of them. River Stars Home would have been fun too. Was River Stars Home out? I could do one where he's like a little bit bigger. Imagine getting Mothlight's Vision. I think I know the person that got Mothlight's Vision. No. Sanch got a Thief in ThunderClan. Never mind. Hey, Nightmare. I'm thumbnailing some ideas for the design that I'm in. I could do a thing where they're like jumping. I think they had the graphic novels. Yeah, hold on. Let me get the book. Where did I put that? But yeah, they had the graphic novels. Hold on, let me look. I misplaced my book. See it anywhere. But they definitely had, like, the James L. Barrie ones. Kind of like the idea of like them twisting in the air, maybe. Part of me is like, oh, I want to make Brackenford like the main person in the picture. But I feel like see a tiny. I know. I wish Brackenfur apprenticed him too. And then Brackenfur gets Tawny Paw, and Tawny Paw leaves. You feel bad for him, man. See ya. Sign thumbnails. I almost feel like, I wonder. Brackenfur is pretty, his design for me is pretty lanky. So he can, like, he probably takes up quite, he'd probably take up quite a bit of the screen. I'd like to sneak a little speckled tail in there in like the corner. I think out of these ones that I've done, out of the 5, if I had to pick 2, I think this one and this one utilize the space the best. This one feels a little flat right now. This one's okay. You like the Badger Ride one? I do too. This is the one that I had the idea for. I might try actually making proper thumbnails out of these too. Like rendering them out a little bit more. What's my snow kit look like? He's like pretty simple, right? Yeah, he's just a little fuzzy guy. The Badger Ride, I mean, honestly, I kind of like the action that's in this one. I think I'm going to render out both of these. Not render. I'm going to do a little bit more, like make some colors and stuff like that. Hold on. I want them both to be happy. Oh, that's thumb 1. I want thumb 2. Actually, and then I'd need the walls of the camp because they're definitely still in camp. Actually, doesn't Dangerous Path take place in, like, autumn? Do I want to do another autumn picture? I do so much autumn pictures. Seasons don't exist. What's my bracken for? I mean, I like autumn, don't get me wrong. It's my favorite season to color in. But the only thing is I feel like Brackenfur, I'm gonna have to struggle a little bit with Brackenfur's like golden colors if I do it in the autumn. A Dangerous Path takes place in Greenleaf. Okay, okay. Fair enough. Like, that blue sky will look really nice behind Brackenfur's. Oh yeah, Rising Storm's fire happens. Okay, okay. I'm going quiet again, I'm sorry. I'm not working on it anymore today, if that's what you mean. Actually, make the grass a darker green, a darker bluish for the foreground. But we're not done with it. I think I could push... I could probably push the, perspective a little bit more. And if I got rid of this and I put like a little speckle in the background. Like right there. Little speckle tail. Do something like that, maybe. I'm getting hungry. Something like that. I like this one though as well. I would like to see what this one would look like. Maybe more of like a coolish summer color. He has amber eyes. Crap! You're right, you're right. You're right. As always. What if, see, I don't really want to put clouds in the air, I don't think. Mostly because I think if I put, maybe like some, I could put some maybe wispy ones. But I honestly think that Cloud Kit should be the lightest part of the picture. Like, your eyes should be drawn to him, for sure. No more jingle bells. Get dunked on. Hey, Dia. You're on the big screen. Oh my gosh. This one, well, yeah, I guess I do agree with you guys. Mostly because this one, Snow Kid is kind of... Well, he's not really facing the screen, is he? I feel like I could really push the Badger ride. No, this is my illustration for the Zine. I got in with my prompt of I'm allowed to speed paint my thumbnails and stuff like that. I'm just not allowed to I'm not allowed to stream the final product or anything. Yeah, I'm allowed to stream the thumbnail work. Harry O'Tail said that I just can't stream, like, the finishing touches and stuff. Come on and slam. And welcome to the jam. I have no idea. I can check. Hold on. The last time that they posted was there was still a few more artists. That was yesterday. Yeah, Zine, Zine, Tomato, Tomato. How do I feel about this? See, I really like the action in this, but it is very... I think this type of thing... I mean, I could make it so that he's tossing it in the background and, like, have Snow Kit, be, like, running towards it, like, running towards the camera, but I want them to be interacting. I don't want... Yeah, I think I'll talk to you about it. Well, I mean, do you still want to do the productivity stream? I can talk to you about it. Well, after the call. Or during the call. Alrighty, I think that's probably good for, like, my first thoughts. Honestly. I have some stuff. You like the Badger ride? I don't know if I'll stream anymore for this design. This might be all you get. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, just let me know, Dia. I will be eating after this, so... Alright, what did I do today on stream? I did a lot of stuff, actually. I rendered some more of the background. We put the drop shadows in. I only rendered 2 characters. I only shaded and integrated 2 characters, but I think we cleaned up most of the midground. Most of it. There's still some things, and we added the drop shadows, so now I just have to go in and, like, shade all the characters and make them feel like they're not just on top of the world. And then we did this painting, which is a Warrior Cat animated layout. And then we did this. Lots of coloring today. We did lots with colors. But yeah, pretty productive day. I don't think we did a single quiz today. I'm hungry and I'm not really feeling a quiz. Because I'm hungry. So, my stomach is absolutely growling like a monster. But I think I will be back on Thursday. We'll be working on this again, obviously. And I don't know, we'll probably work on some other stuff, other random little doodads. But yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'll be back on Thursday. Oh, actually, let me open up. I'm gonna open up a coffee slot today. Because I want to open up at least one slot on Sunday. So we'll see what I get today. No problem, Yellow. No problem, Yellow Leaf. None at all. Here are my commissions. There's one open. And I'll see you guys all on Thursday. Bye! You guys have a good rest of your day too. Thank you, Echoing. See ya, see ya.